Hey, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for checking out this video. I hope you're having a fantastic day. As always, shout out to the 19 folks. We got a wild one here for you. A wild, wild story in a harassment lawsuit filed against Skip Bayless. We have some really wild stuff also coming out on Fox Sports. Joy Taylor, who is being accused of sleeping with several prominent executives and personalities to get a prime role on the network. And it is actually far, far worse than that. And we're going to also tie this into, that's right, how this affects coverage of people like, say, Caitlin Clark, for example. So, real quick, you can go find, by the way, that's Joy actually dressing for the job of host on sports shows. Yeah. So anyway, but we're gonna go back down a little. Now look, you can go find this whole thing online. I'm not gonna but I just want to kind of sum up what is going on with this particular case. I don't think that's the one I wanted, but just let's get into the Skip thing because we don't have a lot on that right now other than a Fox Sports hairstylist. I believe, I'm not sure how her last name is pronounced. I'm going to say Farage, although there's an I at the end, so it might be a third syllable in there, but I'm just going to go with Farage. Don't hate me in the comments. Who was a friend of Joy Taylor, was Fox Sports hairstylist, and apparently, besides some other things such as lingering hugs and whatnot, she alleges that Skip propositioned her, Skip Bayless, for $1.5 million. Now, to be clear, all these things we're talking about that have come out in this lawsuit are alleged, of course. Alleged. So, allegedly, in the Joy Taylor stuff, Joy Taylor had a sexual relationship with Fox Sports EVP Charlie Dixon. At the time, Joy was married. Her husband, I think, later on sort of suspected what was going on and divorced her. Charlie Dixon was married. Now, thanks to that arrangement, Dixon convinced Skip Bayless to make Joy Taylor the host on Undisputed, despite Skip wanting an experienced TV personality, as it says in the lawsuit. Mr. Bayless later disclosed to Miss Farage herself that he did not want Miss Taylor on the show, but Mr. Dixon was adamant that Miss Taylor should star. Of course he was at first. So apparently Joy was very good at her first job. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Miss Taylor when she arrived in provocative clothing and acted in a provocative manner. When that did not change Mr. Bayless' opinion of Miss Taylor, Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him. Reluctantly, Mr. Bayless agreed to do so as a favor to his friend. Now, apparently, Joy Taylor also slept with personalities as well, including, again, allegedly, Emmanuel Chow, whom I believe it's pronounced that Chow, right? I always want to say Ocho, like as in Ocho Cinco, Chad, the wide receiver. But anyway, whom she worked with on another show. Now, let's go to the video on that because this is kind of wild in hindsight in light of what we're hearing now. And I'm guessing because of advice by lawyers regarding this lawsuit, this video has been deleted from his account. But of course, other people have it, so we can still find it. So this is when the new show was just starting.
Just got done with rehearsal for the new show Speak, and I got to take a moment to shout out my co host, Joy Taylor. A woman, a black woman, daily show, sports. Do you all realize how hard it is to get into the position that she is in? So often there's misogyny and sexism running rampant in sports, and we don't even care what women have to say in sports. But Joy is not only in the position on television as a woman, as a black woman, but as an opinionist. So not just asking men what they think, but providing her own unique and distinct insight. It's hard to do, and Joy, you have done it. So congratulations. Looking forward to working with you, and hope y'all tune in 4:30 to 6 Eastern every day starting next week.
Wow. Now that you just see that in a whole new light, don't you? So that's interesting there. That could be taken in, in another way. And look, she probably does work hard to get into those positions. Unfortunately, again, allegedly, hopefully I've said that enough at this point. Those positions don't seem to be qualifications for her TV positions. And we're going to get into one of her supposed unique opinions. Okay, we're going to get into that. Look, Joy Taylor, unfortunately, is setting women in sports commentary back, decades. There are talented women out there with great insights, but now we're going to get back to that whole sleeping to the top narrative. It's going to be at the forefront even more, especially a lot of women that we've seen, and we've seen it with the WNBA, that don't seem to be qualified to talk about the things that they are talking about. And who are the women? I'm sure there are qualified women who didn't get a position because Joy Taylor got it, because Joy Taylor was willing to do anything it took to get to where she is. Aside from all that craziness, it definitely speaks to larger issues in sports media, without a doubt. And one of the darkest ones we'll get to in a minute too, though, is well, before we do that, I want to also got to play another one from Emmanuel because this is funny too.
But truly, in the sports industry, I do not know anyone that is more impressive in every way, shape, or form than the one and only Joy Taylor, ladies and gentlemen.
So there you go. No woman more impressive in any way, shape, or form. Oh man. But now, before I get to one of her opinions that we want to talk about, what is really wild in this is Joy allegedly saying that if she got caught in what she has voluntarily, consensually done to advance her career, because remember, she was not a TV personality at all, and that was the big thing with Skip. She wasn't qualified, she had no TV experience, and yet somehow she becomes the host of Undisputed. So if she had got caught in what she had done to advance her career, allegedly she was going to accuse Dixon of a word that rhymes with ape. Just add a letter. Sorry, for any real quick, for those who wonder why you see YouTubers do stuff like that, is YouTube does have a problem with certain words in content, which, I can kind of understand to a degree. But anyway, so look, let's be clear, not excusing Dixon at all in bowing to that type of offer. And he was married at the time as well, along with Joy. So absolutely despicable behavior. Dixon's this is despicable behavior by him, and he's obviously cheating on his wife. He's advancing an unqualified person's career in return for favors. So all awful. However, not a reason to have to face such serious false charges either. Right? This is fatal attraction level psychopath stuff. And Joy isn't just setting back women in sports media, but women in general. I mean, didn't we have not that long ago this whole Me Too movement? What does this do for that? Believe all women is going to turn into don't believe them because it can be done to further a career. It can be done for revenge. It could be done simply out of spite. Now, let's go back on a lighter note. And here's a clip of the amazing Joy Taylor analysis, that amazing opinion that Emmanuel spoke of, discussing Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark.
She just said the national championship game. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese walked up to her, did this, and pointed to the ring. This is not my opinion. I lived it. I watched it. It was recorded. It was broadcasted live. We were not talking about Caitlin Clark before that moment. She just said the
Joy Taylor, everyone, qualified to be the host of Undisputed, qualified to be on what's the other show? Just Speak or Speak Up, which I think right, it's gone now. I think that's the facility or whatever. But anyway, this is the quality of media that you get with sports coverage. This is what you got with the WNBA. Everything she said is a lie. Now, again, she may be so dumb that it's just wrong, but it's either wrong or it's a lie. Either way, does not she's clearly not qualified to be here. But yet, this is the type of coverage we got all season long. By the way, this was back in June. Everything she said, this is despicable, actually. Again, there's that word. I got to get some thesaurus, right? But this whole story, everything about it's despicable. So I guess it works. To say Kate, no one was talking. Maybe you weren't, Joy, because again, you're not qualified to do what you do. So I can understand how you might think you weren't talking about it because you didn't know any better. You didn't know anything about the WNBA. You probably didn't know women played basketball until you were doing this segment. Caitlin Clark, I believe, well, I know she dropped 41 points the game before in the Final Four, beating undefeated South Carolina. She was already setting viewership records, if I'm not mistaken, until the next year. I think that was a viewership record against South Carolina in the Final Four. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. But yeah, imagine doing what Joy Taylor did just to push lies about Caitlin Clark. Sad. She is right. The media weren't talking about her, but you know who were? All her fans. Oh boy, Joy Taylor seems to have lived a lie while broadcasting fabricated lies with others. And there it is, folks. I'm telling you, we're getting into catch on in the Hatelin media. Today, they look like jackasses for ignoring and denying that phenomenal Caitlin Clark impact. Karma at its best. That's the real Joy. Yeah, see here, someone even said it. No one was talking about Cece, who just the game before the final with LSU put 41 points on the previous undefeated South Carolina team to get to the final. But yet to say no one had heard of Caitlin Clark before Angel Reese did her pathetic little disgusting, obnoxious, follow her around, waving her hand, pointing to her ring finger stuff, in which Caitlin Clark never even glanced her way. To say no one had heard about Caitlin Clark is, again, just another lie. But with Joy Taylor, we are seeing, why we're getting the quality of media that we were getting in coverage of the WNBA, because they simply are not qualified to do what they do. And I know people are going to say, oh, well, you just said that about all of them. I'm making a point that thanks to Joy, a lot of people are going to think that because let's face it, the quality of the coverage of the WNBA by the sports media has been this bad, right? It's not just Joy that was saying stuff like this. People are still saying this. This was going around X just the other day talking about how no one knew about Caitlin Clark until Angel Reese did her nonsense after the 2023 title game. But anyway, and look, you think ESPN is clean of this? I don't. I don't think ESPN is clean of this. I think this might bring more stuff out. And again, this is all alleged at this point, but it is not a good look for sports media in any way, shape, or form. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Appreciate you checking out this video. Appreciate your support. Like and subscribe if you're enjoying the content. It does help out tremendously. And I will talk to you later.